We begin at 5 with breaking news, a tragic turn in the story that has captured the attention of people around the world.
Parts of the missing submersible have been found near the Titanic wreckage in the Atlantic Ocean. The 5 men who were on board are believed to be dead.
The Coast Guard gave an update on their search about 2 hours ago. 12 News reporter Anita Buffoni was there and joins us now live from Boston with the latest. Anita?
Well, it was parts of the submersible's pressure chamber that were found on the seafloor about 1,600 feet from the site of the Titanic. The Coast Guard did not say whether they found any of the bodies of the 5 men on board.
I offer my deepest condolences.
A sad end to a 4-day search for a missing submersible. A debris field was found near the Titanic wreck Thursday morning.
The debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber.
A remotely operated vehicle found the parts of the sub. The Coast Guard says all 5 men on board are presumed dead.
The initial thing we found was a nose cone, which was outside of the pressure hull.
The focus of the search was where underwater banging noises were heard multiple times over 2 days. The Coast Guard says they are still analyzing whether those noises came from the submersible. It's unclear how far along in their journey to the Titanic the sub imploded, but the Coast Guard says their sound buoys did not pick up sounds from an implosion during their search. The sub was going to visit the site of the famous shipwreck 2.5 miles deep into the North Atlantic.
It's in an area where there is not any debris of Titanic. It is a smooth bottom.
The Coast Guard says the search for the 5-member crew and the capsule of the submersible will continue.
Now, Ocean State Expeditions, the company that operates the submersible, released a statement at the same time of this press conference confirming that the 5 members have sadly been lost, including the CEO of that company. They have done voyages since 2021, bringing tourists to the Titanic at a cost of roughly $250,000 each.
Anita, it took the search crews days to get to the seafloor where the Titanic was. Can you explain why it took so long for the vehicles to start the search there?
I think that's a question that a lot of people have. The experts that I spoke to explained that these ROVs are very limited. There's not many that have these deep water capabilities, so they needed to be able to find them and bring them in. And also, the ships that carry those ROVs, remote operated vehicles, takes a long time to get to the actual site, which is about 900 miles off the coast of Cape Cod. So sadly, time was not on their side.
First tonight, we continue tracking breaking news. They're all gone. That's the sad conclusion of the Coast Guard about the 5 people who were aboard that sub heading to the Titanic.
The Coast Guard announced late this afternoon they had found pieces of the lost sub on the ocean floor not far from the famous shipwreck. The international mission that began as a search is now an investigation into what went wrong.
12 News reporter Anita Buffoni was at this afternoon's news conference and joins us live from Boston. Anita?
Well, the Coast Guard said it was a catastrophic implosion of that submersible that killed the 5-member crew that were aboard. Multiple parts of that sub's pressure chamber were found 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic.
A 4-day search coming to a tragic end as parts of the missing submersible were found at the bottom of the ocean.
We've been able to classify parts of the pressure chamber for the Titan submersible.
The Coast Guard is still analyzing how far along into their journey to the Titanic the implosion happened. An unmanned, remotely operated vehicle found a debris field Thursday morning.
Within that large debris field, we found the front end bell of the pressure hull.
All 5 men on board are presumed dead, one being the CEO of Ocean Gate Expeditions, the company that operates the submersible. The search was focused on areas banging underwater noises were detected by Canadian surveillance aircrafts.
There doesn't appear to be any connection between the noises and the location on the seafloor.
The sub left Sunday morning to visit the famous shipwreck 2.5 miles below sea level of the North Atlantic. The Titanic is located about 1,000 miles off the coast of Rhode Island. The sub lost contact with its mothership about 2 hours after it departed. It's unclear if the bodies will be found considering the magnitude of the implosion, but the search will continue for that 5-member crew and the capsule of the submersible.
Now, OceanGate Expeditions has been taking tourists and others to the Titanic since 2021. According to the company, it's costing those explorers about $250,000 each trip. Live in Boston, I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.